How do you do that? How do you find your role in real estate? Well, in 2024, that's one of the things that we need to really think about. What is your role in real estate? Do you just want to be a landlord? Do you want to be a builder? Do you want to fix and flip? Do you want to wholesale? Some people call themselves wholesalers. There's nothing wrong with being a wholesaler if that's what you want to do. But if you want to be a wholesaler that then moves into fix and flip, then how do we do that? How do we help you? How do you help yourself to become the person that you need to be? And in 2024, that is definitely something that could be on the forefront of all of our minds. You know, the biggest thing that we say going into the new year is we say, new year, new me. Well, listen, it's not a new you. It's new year, same you. Okay. It's always new year, same you. The only thing that changes is the mindset that you put into that new year. You know, we'll make a bunch of arbitrary New Year's resolutions of things that we're going to do. But I challenge people to say this: if you could do it in the new year, you can start doing it right now. There was nothing that stopped you from doing it in 2023 that's going to enable you to do it in 2024. You know, um, unless you plan on coming into some money in 2024 that you can only get in 2024, there was nothing that stopped you from doing it in 2023. Unless there's some new tax law that's coming out in 2024 that you already know about that's going to enable you to get something in 2024 that you couldn't get in 2023, there was no reason why you couldn't do it in 2023. So that means that if there was no reason you couldn't do it then, there's no reason why you can't do it right now. And I say right now because we're on that bridge, we're on that cusp. You know, a lot of people are in the party mode going into 2024. I'm in the training, the planning, and the strategy mode right now. Okay. As I roll into 2024, the only thing on my mind is how do I get better? Every day that I wake up is how do I become the person that I need to become the person that I'm meant to be, right? The person that I am today is not the person I'm meant to be because guess what? I'm not the person that I was yesterday. I'm not the person I was 10 years ago. I'm not the person I was 20 years ago. I'm constantly evolving and constantly seeking wisdom and constantly seeking guidance. And as a result, I am constantly becoming someone different. I'm constantly becoming better and better and better. And that is something that we all could do. You know, they say iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel, however that saying go. Well, let's sharpen each other. Let's sharpen our skills. Let's sharpen our resources. Let's sharpen our ability to achieve more. And it is very, very powerful. You know, uh, there's power in defining your why. Why do you do what you do? You know, I come from a military background. You know, I spent just under 10 years in the United States Marine Corps. And, you know, when I first joined, my why was because I wanted to get out of my small town. I grew up in a small town. I just needed a change. I wanted to get out of my small town. And that was my biggest why. My biggest why is that I wanted to get out and see the world. Well, guess what? I got out, I saw the world, and then somewhere along the line, I became patriotic. You know, and I can't say that I was patriotic before, but then that became a part of my why. That was a part that added to the formula of my why. Not only did I want to get out of my small town, but now I'm doing it for my country because I don't want to fight these battles on my home soil, right? And then as the time went on, it was like, okay, well, I'm doing this for my family. I'm starting to provide to start a family. Now I need to be able to provide for my family. What are the things I need to do? What trainings do I need to go and try to get myself into so that I can better my family? You know, and then after I left the service, you know, then my why it came into question. You know, I was a little confused for a few months there, a few years there, but then I started to realize that my why just had to evolve. Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why have I done the things that I've done? You know, why have you done all of the things you've done in your life up to this point? There has to be a why, and that why has to be strong enough to fuel the journey that you're on. Right? When you start to run out of fuel, your why is the gasoline that's meant to reinvigorate you and get you moving again. And if ever you start to question your why, that means that you need to search for a new why. So going into 2024, if you feel like your why has started to dwindle out, your why has started to fade out, now is the time for us to build that why back up. Let's figure out how do we build that why back up so that we can get the things that we need to get. Well, here's a few things that I came up with on that, right? Inspiration. You know, our inspiration is a driving force to our why. What inspires you to become a real estate investor? What is it? Was it the money? You know, it goes back to, you know, what we were just saying. Is it the financial aspiration? Is it the ideal lifestyle? Is it because you don't want to work for someone, you want to be self-employed? What is the why? What is the inspirational drive that leads you down the path of righteousness that you're trying to go down, right? What is the impactful goals? What goals do you have that you feel are going to be impactful in the area of real estate investing? Are you the person who is looking to bring the best deals to investors so that you can build a return legacy? Sorry. What is the impact that you're looking to make? You know, I'll often think about it, like this. I'm reading from my notes here, right? I said, think about the impacts you wish to make. And is it securing your family's future, contributing to your community, or creating a legacy? And I already told you that I have all of these things are on the forefront of my why, right? I definitely want to provide for my family's future. I want to provide for my kids. I want to make sure that if anything happens to me, my wife is taken care of. We're getting ready to celebrate our anniversary tomorrow on the 31st. And I want to make sure that her future is set if something happens to me. But even if it's not, something doesn't happen to me, I want to make sure that our future together is set and going to be stable. So that is a big portion of my why. Contributing to my community, yes, I want to contribute to my community. That's, again, like I said, the 3D printed homes is because I can see a need for that. I can see how having a tornado safe property, if your whole home was the equivalent of a safe room that you could take shelter in, that is valuable. That is gonna save lives. We lost people in this tornado. I don't want to see that happen to anyone. I would hate for that to happen to my loved one, let alone anyone else's loved one. So how can I help to impact my community to make that better, to make that something that is less of an occurrence going forward? There's an impact there, right? And then creating legacy. Yes, I believe in legacy. I told you my name, not just my name's sake, the West. I want that to resonate, and I want it to carry through the generations. I can almost see it as if it's already happened. I have full confidence that God has already anointed that step in my life, and now I just have to do the things that I have to do. I have to become the person that I need to become to bring that into fruition and to allow Him to continue to bless it. And then another thing that I think is big when it with determining our why is life changing outcomes. And I wrote down life changing outcomes, but after I thought about it, it's really life changing inputs too. Things happen to us in life that change our lives. You have a kid, it changes your life. You have a health scare, it changes your life. Nothing would change you more than the feeling of thinking that you might die. And I'm telling you that right now because I felt that feeling multiple times in my life, and nothing would make you reassess and take another look at your life than the fear of not having another life, another day to live that life, right? And that could be something that is prominent in either our personal lives or in the lives of our loved ones when we lose a loved one. What is the impact that life changing outcomes or inputs have in your why? you know, um, having, again, this, and I keep bringing up this tornado because it's something that's so fresh on my mind, but there are some life changing events that happen to people. People lost everything that they had, and now they have to learn how to start over, and it's traumatic. But the one thing that I can tell most people who experience something traumatic is that as you live through those traumatic events, you get stronger. And say, what don't kill me make me stronger. That is such a true statement because if it does not take you out, the only thing it can do is make you stronger. You're gonna live through it. You're gonna learn how to get past it. You're gonna build back up better the things that you had. You knock my house down, I'm building back bigger and better. You take away my car, I'm gonna try to get something bigger and better. That is just the natural progression of human evolution and how we see things. You take one thing from me, I have to aim for bigger and better. Let's stop with this mentality of just trying to replace what we had. Let's stop with this mentality of trying to live the good old days again, trying to live that one time in life when we felt like we had it made, and I'm just trying to get back to that. Don't try to get back to that. Try to get to better, because oftentimes we lose something. We have that life-changing event. We either lose something or we gain something, and we feel like there's something that was something so great about what we had. but there was always something that you probably could have done better. Like there's always aspirations that we could seek harder. And in 2024, let's make that a goal. Let's not try to recreate 2023 and 2024. Let's make 2024. Let's make 2024 better than 2023, better than 2022, better than 2021. And then that way 2025 could be even better. And to think about it like this, if you can double your output in 2024 and then double your output again in 2025 and then double that output again in 2026, how it would take you less than a decade, less than 5 years to really make a drastic change in your family and in your life. So that's all we need to think about. If nothing else, if you take nothing else from this, let's double our output in 2024. Let's double our output in 2024 so that we can have these life-changing outcomes that will resonate and that will vibrate through the generations. And I'm gonna keep on saying that, vibrate through the generations. We need to vibrate through the generations. We need to be looking to instill this work ethic into everyone that we come in contact with, whether it be your loved ones, your family, your friends. Let's let's just build something bigger and better. Let's continue to build. If you aren't a builder, you're going to be a wealth builder from this channel. Okay, that is why we call you wealth builders. We are here to build. We are here to build wealth. We are here to build generational mindset. We want to stop generation and bloodline line curses, and we want to build something bigger and better. Now, some people lack a desire. Some people lack a why, and it happens. Nothing wrong with that. If you're one of those people that right now you're finding yourself lacking either in ambition or lacking in the why, and you just can't figure it out. I don't know why I want what I want. Well, here's some tips that I got for you too. Going into 2024, if this is you and you are having a problem with creating a burning desire in your real estate business, in your excuse me, if you're having this problem creating a burning desire in your real estate business or in whatever endeavor it is that you're doing in your life, take these tips, right? We want to ignite and then sustain passion. Now, igniting is the easy part. It's easy to start the fire. The hard part is keeping it lit. Okay, it's like falling in love. It's easy to fall in love. The challenge is staying in love. The challenge is sustaining that love. The challenge is sustaining that passion. How do you sustain what you ignited? When you start out as a real estate investor, real estate wholesaler, that ignition of the desire to become a real estate investor, it is there. You want it. You want it more than anything that you could think about. But then you get to making phone calls, you get to getting told no, you get rejection, you have deals fall through, and then it just becomes so hard to sustain that progress. It becomes so hard to sustain that passion and that desire for the thing that you wanted more than anything. And that could be a challenge for us, um as people, no matter what it is that we're doing. So one thing that you could do is this, right? Surround yourself with success. Now, what do I mean by that? If you are part of any type of real estate investing circles, the one thing that most investors, most mentors would tell you is to go to networking events, get into networking events, surround yourself with successful people. That is what this channel is all about. We want to surround you with a network of success, a network of people who are thinking about success, who are growing towards success, who are strategizing about success. That is the reason why these Zoom calls on Saturdays are called training and strategy calls, right? We want to give you the training and the strategies to get to the success that you want out of life. Surround yourself with successful people. If you are surrounded by a lot of by a bunch of people who are either not successful, not seeking success, or always talking negative about your success, you need to change your circle. I'm not telling you to cut anybody off. If you're watching this and you're grown, you do what you want to do. If you're not grown, do what your parents are telling you to do. Be a good kid. But here's the thing: surround yourself with successful people. The people that you have in your inner circle that you go and talk to, they should be able to build you up and they should be able to encourage you. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that you talk to needs to be a real estate investor, but if they aren't a real estate investor, they should have the capacity to either encourage you or to build you up. Okay. If everybody that is in your circle is negative Nancy's and talkative Tums, the person who just talk, but not doing anything, you need to reevaluate your circle and surround yourself with success. The more you surround yourself with success, the more it's gonna rub off on you. Birds of a feather flock together. That's what they say, right? If you're flocking around with the dodo birds, you're gonna be a dodo. Don't be a dodo flopping around with the dodo birds. Okay, you need to soar high with the eagles. And if you aren't able to soar high yet, you soar with the eagles long enough until you can, right? When you see the big bird migration of birds that are going south in the winter and going back north in the springtime, they're flying in a formation around other birds who have the same agenda. They all trying to get to warmer weather, regardless of which direction they're going or which time of the year it is. But they come together so that they can all make that long journey together. You don't want to be the lone bird that's flying in a solo formation and wondering why it's so hard for you to get to the destination, it's so hard for you to get to the warm weather. Those are the birds that end up freezing in the wintertime because they was flying with the dodo birds. The dodo bird stayed in the tree and froze in the wintertime. Don't be the dodo bird, okay? Don't be the dodo bird. I'm gonna leave it at that. um, you got to dig deep. You got to dive deep into your real estate knowledge. Okay, it's time to stop playing around with it. It's time to just to stop not being serious. It is time to get serious. If you really want to be a real estate investor, you really want to be a real estate wholesaler, fix and flipper, get serious about it. Okay, stop letting fear stop you and get serious about your craft. If you feel that you are serious about it and there's something that's legitimately stopping you, write it down. Write down what it is that is stopping you so that you can address it. Because here's the thing: if you never identify the thing that's stopping you, you'll never be able to address it. Okay, but you need to be able to dive deep and immerse yourself into the world of real estate. Learn all that you can. Learn about zoning, learn about codes, learn about, like I said, emerging technologies, learn about the trends that are happening. This doesn't necessarily mean that you got to go and become a realtor, but surround yourself with a realtor. Get yourself a couple of realtor friends who can tell you what they're seeing in the market. Get yourself a couple of successful real estate developers that can tell you what they're seeing in the market and what new technologies are coming out. Doesn't mean that you have to go and get your contractor's license. Become friends with some contractors. Become acquaintance with some contractors who can help you to decipher the things that you can't decipher. You don't have to become a structural engineer, but you should know some structural engineers. And the more that you start to deep dive into this, the more you start to seek out the knowledge that you need, the more you will see that your circle is going to start to grow and you're going to start to surround yourself with people who can help you in those areas. Okay. So, again, you can do this in so many different ways. You can read books, you can listen to podcasts, you can attend workshops, uh, you can do as much as you can to stay knowledgeable on emerging trends. But the thing that stays consistent in all of those is the word do. You have to do. You got to do something. Don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Do it. Let's start doing. 2024 needs to be the year of doing for you. You need to do as much as you can to become the person that you need to be. Okay. Uh, and there's a lot of things that I'm gonna keep saying all year long. To be the person that you need to be, you need to do. You have to make some moves. You have to take some steps. You have to be willing to fail sometimes so that you can succeed. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. A person that's afraid to fail is also afraid to succeed, because that means that you're only going to be willing to make a move and do something when you already know that 100% without a doubt that you can succeed. Well, there's not a whole lot of things in this world that without a doubt 100% that you will succeed at. No matter how great you are, sometimes you don't know if you're going to succeed until you actually get out there and start doing, right? And again, if you're a sports fan, I don't watch a lot of sports, but I do watch a lot of documentaries. And one of the things that I've heard from a lot of athletes when they're talking about their success as athletes is that, they don't go into the game already knowing that they're going to win, but they go into the game expecting to put out their best. And if they don't win, they know that they gave it their all, right? And then they expect the same thing from their teammates. So they make the best athletes are the ones who are surrounded by a team of individuals who share the like-minded ideal of how this game is meant to be played. So in the game of real estate, Surround yourself with people who expect to win, but they're not afraid to fail. Now, I'm gonna say that again. Surround yourself with people who expect to win, but they're not afraid to fail. See, you can expect to win when you know that you've done the work that is required for you to get to where you want to be, right? You can expect to win when you know that you've put the reps in, but you're not afraid to not win. You're not afraid to fail because you know that you gave your all. You're afraid to fail when you go into the game and I partied the night before. I did all these things that I shouldn't have done. Now I'm afraid I'm going to lose. Well, guess what? If that's what you were thinking, that's what's going to happen. If you go into your real estate deal already feeling like you might fail at the next endeavor that you have coming up, not only will you possibly fail, but you're gonna give that aura off when you're talking to other people. When you come to talk to me about an investment idea that you have and you already feel like it's a bad investment, guess what? You're gonna project that it's a bad investment, and I'm gonna see it as a bad investment off rip. But when you come to me talking about this deal and you expect it to win, you expect it to succeed, well, now you're gonna get me lit up. You're gonna get me fired up for it, and now we're gonna figure out how to get this win together. Again, I talked about Kobe. The one thing that he was great at is expecting to win and then lighting that fire in the rest of his teammates, so that even if they wasn't in the gym putting up 500 shots before the game, they know that he was in there and he expected to win. And now I know that I got to give my all. I got to bring my part. I got to get my rebounds. I got to get my blocks. I got to pick up that foul so that he can stay in the game. Sometimes that's how this game has to be played. That's how real estate has to be played. Another thing now, and again, right now we're talking about creating that burning desire in your real estate career. So the fourth thing that I thought about was setting smart goals. Right, going into 2024, everybody is so caught up on New Year's resolutions. A New Year's resolution is a plan to fail for most people that set them. Okay, because we go into the new year acting like because January 1st happened, something big and different is going to happen in our lives, and we're going to wake up tomorrow a completely different person. That is the biggest lie that we've told ourselves from the time that we came into this world, is that the new year brings about new blessings. The new day brings about new blessings. Every single day that you wake up brings about a new set of blessings that you can tap into. So let's forget about the new year and let's just think about every new day that's coming. Set some smart goals for yourself that you can achieve and that you can actually use to track your progress. Now, when I say smart goals, I'm not talking about goals that are intelligent. I'm talking about smart goals. It's an acronym, right? So we want these goals to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be relevant, and they need to be time bound. Now, let's go back and look at this, right? Specific goals are not just I want to be a real estate investor. That's not a smart goal. That's not specific enough. Okay. I want to flip one property within 3 months um in 2024. That is a smart goal. I want to flip one property. It's very specific. I want to listen to what I say. It's not just I want to flip a property. Okay. Well, that can happen now. That can happen in 10 years. That can happen in 2 years. It doesn't mean anything. It's very arbitrary. I want to graduate college. Well, okay, well, I can do that anytime in my lifetime, God willing. Well, what is the smart goal? The smart goal is, again, specific. You want it to be specific. You want it to be measurable. If you just say you want to flip properties, you want to be a real estate investor, how is that measurable? How do you know that you became a real estate investor? But if you say I want to flip 3 properties this year, I want to flip 2 properties this year, I want to flip, you know, 3 properties in Nashville, in this neighborhood, like you can get as specific as you want to with this with your smart goals. But instead of setting an arbitrary New Year's resolution, set a smart goal, and even outside of real estate, instead of just saying you want to lose weight in 2024, I'm gonna get back in the gym in 2024. Okay, but what does that really mean? Let's set a smart goal. I'm gonna work out 3 times a week for a minimum of 30 hours for the next 3 months, and my goal is to lose 5 pounds. That is a smart goal. It's achievable, it is measurable, it is relevant, and it's time bound. You get what I'm saying? It's specific. I want to lose 5 pounds in the next 3 months by working out 3 times a week, you know, doing cardio. You can get as specific as you want to. Lifting weights. I'm going to lift weights for 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week. That is specific. That is what we want in our real estate career. What is it that you need to do to be specific in your endeavors in 2024? Let's stop with the arbitrary things that we like to bring up. I want to wholesale a property. What does that really mean? I want to wholesale a property for five. I want to make at least $5,000 in wholesale fees within the next 30 days or within the next 60 days, from wholesaling properties, single family homes, to investors that are looking for flips. And why does that matter, right? Well, you can make money, you can make $5,000 flipping vacant land to people who are looking to develop. You can make $5,000 flipping uh homes that are already moving ready to people who are looking for investment properties to be landlords. You need to be specific, because once you become specific, now you're looking for a specific type of property. You're looking for a specific type of buyer. You're looking for a specific wholesale fee. You're looking for specificity in what you're seeking, and it's a lot easier for you to track that. It's a lot easier for you to say, okay, I was successful in this endeavor because I set a smart goal for it. I didn't just say that I wanted to do this, and now I've done some stuff, but I don't even know if I can call myself successful. Some of you guys have done more than enough to get a deal done, but because you're not tracking it, you don't know that you've done the work that you need to do. You know, or you lose that motivation because you're not tracking it and you can't see how far you come from where you were. Be smart about it. Get some smart goals. And I made a whole podcast episode about smart goals, so I'm not going to keep going on that, because you can go back and watch and listen to that on Spotify. And I'm going to talk about that more in 2024 about smart goals and how we can use that in our real estate career. Visualization. Now, this is one of my favorite things. Bunny and I are some of the biggest dreamers that you guys are ever going to meet. And so much so that we have a habit of getting people fired up for things. You know, like a person can come and tell me that they're thinking about doing X, Y, and Z, and I'll start visualizing it and I'll start talking to them about it. And before you know it, I've not only given them some of my ideas on how I would do it, but I'm visualizing it. I can see them in that area of their life being prosperous. And sometimes we got to learn how to do that for ourselves. How do you visualize the success that you want? Because it's hard for you to know that you made it to success if you can't visualize what success looks like for you. You know, if you can't visualize yourself flipping a property, it's going to be hard for you to flip a property because you can't see yourself doing it. You know, it's hard to do something that you can't see yourself doing. You know, people say, I can't see myself running a marathon. Well, that's why you'll never run a marathon, because you can't see yourself running a marathon. You know, you can't see yourself as a champion. You know, again, go to bring up Kobe Bryant again, he could see himself as an NBA champion. He wasn't just wishfully thinking about it. He saw himself as a NBA champion. You know, your big football stars, they see themselves as the NFL quarterback. They can see themselves as the doctor. You know, my little sister just became um a nurse practitioner. She saw herself in that role way before she was even in that role. She saw herself in that role so much so she saw herself as a doctor so much so that even in high school she was already getting her CNA license because she saw herself becoming doctor. She saw herself with that title. She saw herself with that, right? What do you see yourself with? You know, we limit ourselves because sometimes we see ourselves with this limited eyesight. You know, get some 20/20 vision and stop looking at yourself with this messed up eyesight. You got to improve the visualization of yourself, and you got to be able to see yourself as a successful person that you want to be. You know, if you can't, I can see myself on the status of Elon Musk. If you can't see yourself there, then we need to work on your visualization. You need to work on being able to see yourself in a higher level, as a higher standard. What rank do you see on your collar when you visualize yourself 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? Do you see yourself 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? That could be a problem. You know, uh a lot of times, people, we have a lot of talks about poor and rich, like poor people, rich people. And one of the things that I think is such a disease in our world right now is that a lot of us see ourselves as poor. A lot of people see themselves as poor. You got to stop seeing yourself as poor. Stop seeing yourself as a victim. Stop seeing yourself as a loser. Stop seeing yourself as less than. Because when you see yourself like that, you become what you see. You're destined to live out the reality of where you see yourself. And once you can see yourself somewhere, then it's time for you to go back and get these other ones into action, right? If I can see myself as a winner, well, now I can set some smart goals to get myself to be a winner because I can visualize what type of winner I see myself in. If you don't see yourself as anything more than a college athlete, then you're gonna be a college athlete. You didn't see yourself as an NBA star. You know, if you see yourself as nothing more than a school teacher, then yeah, you may not become a professor. If you see yourself as nothing more than a nurse, then you might not become a doctor. You saw yourself in that phase, and that's what you accomplish. If you see yourself as nothing more than a thousandaire, you're gonna be a thousandaire. Don't see yourself as a thousandaire. See yourself as a millionaire. See yourself as a multimillionaire. Visualize yourself as a billionaire. And then stop saying that, oh, well, I could never. You can never because you will never because you are not. But you can become whatever you need to become whatever you want to become, and then never can get taken out of your vocabulary. The only thing you can say is I'll never be poor. I never have a poor mindset. I'd never be broke. Know why? Because you have the ability to visualize yourself somewhere and then to do the things that you need to do to get yourself up there. I can visualize myself on the top of the podium, and now I can see myself setting the smart goals to get myself to the top of the podium. If you don't see yourself at the top of the podium, you will not get to the top of the podium. So let's visualize ourselves as something more. Let's have a vivid imagination and let's use that imagination. As kids, I guarantee you, we all had a very vivid imagination of who we saw ourselves as. And for some reason, the older you get, we start to lose that that ability to visualize ourselves as something more than what we are or something more than what people told us that we were. And we start to limit ourselves. But here's the thing. We were made in the image of God. And God can be any and everything that He wants to be. He is all knowing, all creating. He did not create you to be less than what He put inside of you to be able to visualize. He gave you the imagination. Use the imagination to visualize yourself at a higher form, and then let's have it become the thing that you want to be. Right now, next week we're going to talk about well, over the course of this week, I'm going to talk about some more high level things that you could do to pursue your goals. I got about 7 different things that I want to talk about over the course of this week. And I'm going to do it in a bunch of different videos, whether it be on the Facebook channel or in the YouTube channel, on the TikTok channel. So make sure that you get in and follow us on all those platforms because we're going to talk about the pursuit of excellence. I know everybody's heard of the pursuit of happiness, right? You watch that movie, Will Smith. But what is the pursuit of excellence? What does it mean to have a pursuit for excellence? There's the lost art in today's world. We're going to talk about personal fulfillment. A lot of times we get into real estate investing because there is a level of personal fulfillment that we are trying to reach. And again, if you don't have a smart goal, if you can't visualize yourself getting there, then let's talk about how we can do that. What are some strategies we could do to do that? We're going to talk about impact and contribution. We're going to dig deeper into the impact that you can have as a real estate investor. We were at a dinner last night at my mother-in-law's house, and one of the ladies at the dinner was saying, that you know after this tornado, they've identified a lot of places where some of the contractors were cutting corners on the building. And it really just made me think about, well, that what impact are we having in our community? What impact are we having on the people around us? And how do we make sure that our impact and our contribution align with our mottos and our goals and who we are as individuals? I don't want to be the person who's building properties that are falling apart like straw houses that are blown over by the big bad wolf. I do not want to be that person. I want to be the person who's building sturdy, reliable homes that people can raise their families in and that they can pass on to the next generation. Your house should not just fall apart before you even get finished paying it off. You know, nothing worse than paying for something and it fell apart at, for no doing of your own because it was poorly manufactured. You know, we live in sadly in an era where that is becoming a big thing. You know, you buy products online all the time and you don't know what quality you're getting sometimes. Well, you can if you read the reviews, right? And I want my reviews to be a review of impact and contribution. I want people to remember again my namesake for that, not because we just threw a bunch of trash together and sold it to people at a high price. We want to make sure that we're building quality, that we're doing quality. When you're wholesaling and you're putting your deals together, you want to be giving quality deals to your buyers because that's gonna build that legacy and that return business that you want. We're gonna talk about challenge and mastery. Okay, challenge and mastery going into 2024 should be high on your priority list, right? Join some challenges and learn some mastery in your life. Join some challenges because challenges can help you with the SMART goals. If you don't have SMART goals of your own, join a challenge that already has SMART goals laid out and they can help you to achieve those SMART goals. And then from there, you start to visualize yourself doing more. And then before you know it, you're setting goals for yourself. But sometimes we do need a catalyst to help us to get to that point. And then through doing those challenges, through doing these different things, you will gain mastery. Okay. You want to be a master of your art. You want to be a craftsman. You don't want to just be the person who fixes cars. You want to be the person who's known for making cars better. You know, it's one thing to be the shade tree mechanic that can make the car run. You want to make something quality. You want to learn how to master your craft. And not you don't have to master every craft that you touch, but you have to know how to impart mastery into the things that you do. I don't have to be able to fix the car perfectly. I can shade tree the car together to get it to the mechanic that can then fix it 100% and get it right. You know, I can find the property and visualize where this property can be at. And then I find that person who has the mastery, and together we can make this into a property that a person would be proud to call their home and raise their family in. So how do we do that? Challenge and mastery. We're going to talk about that. Recognition and status. We all want to be known. We all want to be heard. You know, everybody wants to have their name in bright lights, whether that be, you know, because you want to be some Broadway singer, you know, you want to be the builder that has your company title on the billboard in front of a property, in front of a development. There's a reason why a lot of times when we make businesses, we like to put our name on it. That's recognition and status. And that's a desire that we have. You know, it's for, you know, we like the Lord says we do things for his name's sake. Like all things are to bring glory to God. And we're created in his image, which means that we have a desire also to have recognition and status. So there's nothing wrong with that. I do not believe there's anything wrong with you having a desire to have some recognition and some status, especially when you put the hard work in to achieve a level of success. You know, nobody wants to be called Dr. So and so. You want to be called Dr. West, Dr. Smith, Dr. Taylor, but you want to be called doctor. You don't want to be called anything other than, you know, in the military, you know, when I became a sergeant, I wanted to be called Sergeant West. Do not call me anything other than Sergeant West. That is the title that I've earned, is the status and the recognition that I earn. So as a real estate investor, what does that mean in your real estate career? You know, having that status and that recognition. We're going to talk about that because I think that that's very important. We're going to talk about financial success, which again, no, that's number one. I think most people get into real estate because they heard that it was a way to get rich. Financial success is important for us, and you know, without financial success, it's hard for you to be successful in other areas of life, right? If you can't pay your bills, you can't help somebody else pay their bills. If you can't be a blessing to your family, it's hard to be a blessing to someone else's family. So how do we get that financial success? And I'm gonna leave it at that one at that, because that one we'll go down a long rabbit hole, but we're gonna talk about that. And then last, over the course of this next week, we're gonna talk about legacy building. How do we set ourselves up for legacy? How do we build our business in a way to where you know, maybe our family member wants to take it over, or you know, if you don't have kids, you know, you set it up so that you can have a board that can carry it into the future. You know, a lot of the big names that we are familiar with, that we go out and we buy right now, they're legacy. You buy legacy every single day. You go out and you wear it on your clothes. You drive around in legacy. You shop in legacy. You know, there's legacy surrounding you every single day there's some form of a legacy that is surrounding you, where the person who started this is not here anymore, but their dream and their vision is still living. And how do you do that? You don't, if you build a business that is set up for legacy, then it's hard for that business to fail. But when you build a business that's only set up for the time being, well, as soon as the time passes, the business falls apart. So how do we start to build things that are set up for legacy? And what does that mean? How do we know when we achieve that? And how do we progress? How do we track it? How do we measure that progress? So we're going to talk about that too over the course of this week. And again, I want you guys to make sure that you stand on the lookout for our new book that's going to be coming out. Think and Grow Rich in Real Estate. This is gonna be a great book. Okay, if you read the original Think and Grow Rich, you probably got a lot of motivation and a lot of information out of that book. Well, this one is going to be specifically for real estate investors. We're going to build on everything that you read in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and we're going to really deep dive into how to use that in the real estate perspective. Okay, because what I've learned is that a lot of people read that book, and it was a very generic book that gave a lot of information. But how do you visualize that into real estate? How do you actualize that into real estate? We're going to cover that in this book. So be on the lookout for that in 2024. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it too. And um, I want to end this with a brief prayer, because that is something that is very special for me right now in my life, or not just right now. Going forward, um, I want to give honor to God in every chance that I get, and that's in my real estate career. That's in my personal life. That's that's with you guys in this training. I really, I really do pray that He opens not only my eyes to be able to see and spread wisdom, but He opens your eyes and your minds to be able to receive it, and then to be able to use this information to build His kingdom. So, um, before we get out of here, I'm gonna do a quick prayer, and then I'm gonna leave you guys to bring in the new year however you see fit. But just know that going into the 2024, we are here to be whatever it is that you need. Whatever you need, I want you to come and you bring it to us, and you have not because you ask not. So ask for whatever it is that you're looking for, that you need, and if we can't provide it for you, we know someone who probably can, and together we can make some success going into 2024, and we can build the community that we all really truly need and deserve. So uh, Lord God, I just want to thank you for this time that you've given me, Lord, that you've given us, Lord, to come together and to just to strategize about your kingdom, Lord. As we sit here as kingdom wealth builders, as wealth builders, we want to make sure that we're doing all things for your kingdom, Lord, and that we bring honor and glory to you. So we just thank you for imparting the wisdom on us, Lord, and giving us the ability to not only hear the things that will help us to prosper, Lord, but to also practice those things and to become masters of the skills that you've already given us, Lord. You blessed each and every one of us with unique personalities and unique skills, and with your Holy Spirit, Lord. And we just ask that you allow that to resonate through us, that you allow us to come together in these settings to share and to spread wisdom and word, Lord, and to feed your sheep. We believe that you are a God of prosperity, Lord, and we are going into 2024. We all want to be recipients, and we want to claim that prosperity, Lord. We want to claim it in the name of Jesus. And we just thank you and we honor you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, y'all. Peace out. See you guys next week. And see you guys over the course of this week. But like I said, going into 2024, make sure that you're really, really thinking about your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And how do we make it better? So I'm Ken. Me and Bunny will see you guys on the next call. Peace.